Okay, so this girl cared way too much about people's opinions, and so did this girl. And this girl also cared too much, and this girl cared way too much. We love to see it. Oh, it's a black screen. Do you see yourself? Yeah, because if you're watching this video, you're probably on the list of people who care too much about other people's opinions. Hello, I'm back, and I'm going to give you some advice on how to not care what people think about you. Before we start, if you want to subscribe to my channel, that would be cool, and if you wanted to tap the bell and put notifications on so you get a little notification every time I upload a new video, that would also be super cool. But yeah, let's jump straight in. I noticed quite a while ago, I would say nearly maybe 3 years ago, that I actually didn't really care what people thought anymore. Not to say I never cared what people thought, because I did a lot, but recently I just don't. To be honest, I wouldn't be where I am today if I did care what people thought about me, because it would have stopped me from doing so many things that I've done recently. Caring about what people thought of me held me back, not just in social media, but also in life as well, I think. It was just quite a lot of pressure that I was putting on myself from other people's opinions. Okay, so I made notes because this is some serious shit. Well, it's not super serious, but it could change your life, so yeah, take from that what you will. So I'm going to give you some experiences of when I cared too much what people thought about me and what that didn't allow me to achieve and how it held me back. Let the rambling begin. So, as I said, it was probably about 2 to 3 years ago when I genuinely stopped caring what people think. If you ask my friends, they would probably say different, because I always did what I wanted, no matter what people thought. However, that didn't mean I didn't care about it, if that makes sense. So I would still do the stuff. Sometimes I wouldn't, but deep down inside, I would be doing it, and I'd be so scared about what other people thought as I was doing it. And that gave me such bad anxiety. And yeah, I just felt awful, which isn't how you should feel when you're wanting to do something that you want to do. I would get really bad anxiety over what people thought I was doing, whether that was on social media, which was probably the hardest one to do, to be honest, or whether it was in my personal life, or whether it was in my career. I've only been to uni and I don't even have a job. I would always do those things anyway. I was so scared about what people thought of me. I always thought people hated me, and I always thought I was a burden to other people, which was not good. That's not how you should live your life. You shouldn't live your life in fear of what people think of you when you're living your best life and doing what you want to do. That's just not what life should be. I still have those fears. I'm not a zombie with no emotions. Like, obviously I do get scared of what people think sometimes, but I've kind of come up with a game plan in my own head which makes me not really care as much. Everyone has bad days, and some days I'll be like, oh my god, like, everyone thinks I'm a weirdo. Whatever. Those are bad days, and most of the time I don't care. And that is the truth now. Like, genuinely don't care. Not just like don't care on the outside, but care inside. Genuinely, through my body, transparent, I don't care. I feel like I have a lot more worth now than I did when I was caring what people thought about me. I think it's because I was putting people's opinions above my own opinions, so I was letting their opinions influence my life and kind of letting them dictate my decisions. Even though they probably thought they were helping and kind of guiding me through, it wasn't necessarily what I actually wanted to do, but I felt like I almost had to do it because, one, they dispensed their advice, which is actually a very nice thing to do, but also their opinion, and it's what they think that you should be doing. So you obviously think, oh god, that's the right thing to do, I'll do it. But it's not necessarily if it's not what you actually want to do inside. I think it's also a lot to do with friends, how they will judge you. And I've always had kind of a mean girl in the group of friends I've been in, or whatever. And whether it's they know they're mean or they're not, and they're just kind of mean. I now don't have that anymore. I've cut those people out of my life. As soon as I got rid of those people that were actually making me question myself, that's when I started realising I don't care what people think anymore, because I didn't have anyone who was judging me constantly. And that was like a huge factor for me. It doesn't even have to be a mean friend. It could be a pressurising parent or someone like that, because everyone's got those aspects in their life as well. They made me question what I was doing with my life. They made me question the decisions I was making, made me not take chances, and it made me not progress in myself. You should grow as a person throughout your life, and I just felt like I didn't really grow much probably before. I feel like I've grown so much more this year alone than I have most of my years, and I'm like mature now, so it should be when I'm stopping growing as much exponentially. This is me telling you that if you have something that you want to do it. Don't let anything hold you back, because you will regret it. You will eventually get to that place where you don't care what people think and you will do it anyway, and then you'll think, God, why have I wasted 5 years caring what people thought, when actually I could have done this 5 years ago and be 5 years ahead in what I'm doing now, which I love. So this is just your kind of push to go and do what you have wanted to do. You need to do it now when you feel that you have to, because if you don't do it, you will regret the time you spent pondering over whether you should have done it. For me, that was probably YouTube. I was really, really scared about what people would think, and I think it was partially friends I was scared of. Obviously not really scared of my family, what they would think, because I am who I am. But friends I was scared of starting YouTube for. Instagram was scary for me, but I was in Sweden when I started it. I was kind of disassociated from all of my friends back home. I was away for 6 months. It was almost like me reinventing a new Bryony, so it felt quite distanced from everything, which is why I could do it. I'm not saying that's a healthy way to start a YouTube channel, creating a new personality, but I was in a new life, so I felt I could have a new start, and that's how I started my Instagram. I was still obviously scared. I didn't want people finding my Instagram that I knew, but now most people, all of my friends know about it, obviously, so it's fine now. But starting YouTube for me was even bigger thing, because it's not just a photo, you're letting people into your lives. On Instagram you can put one photo up and people won't know anything, but on YouTube you're talking, they see, it sounds really weird, but they see how your face moves. And on Instagram you can completely change that. You can be like, oh, turn, get the right angle so you look like you have a jawline, and then on YouTube it's like, I don't have a jawline.
Catfish me, ow!
I need to stop watching TikTok. So yeah, YouTube was probably the hardest one for me, but once I stopped caring what people thought, I just did it, and I don't care anymore. It's my creative outlet. And I really enjoy it, and so I am gonna do it because it's fun. Obviously I said I stopped caring about what people thought about 3 years ago, which is true. But as I said, I still occasionally think about what people thought, and it's an exponential kind of growth of not caring until you get to the point where you're like, I genuinely don't care anymore. That obviously started 3 years ago, but I think this year for me was the year in which it actually all came together. Obviously we've had lockdowns, so that's a lot of time on your own, and I had a lot of time to kind of self-reflect and look at who I was, look at what I wanted in life. I still don't know that, to be fair. You don't have to not care what people think. But look at who I was, and I actually started to really like who I was, or who I was becoming. And I think because I like myself, I've realised how much I'm worth. That's not sounding pompous or anything, but everyone is worthy. Whether that's worthy of love, whether it's worthy of just love, I think. It's so cute, I know. But how much I'm worth, and then realising that no matter what someone's opinion is, they can't take away my worth. That's their business, not my business. It doesn't make me any less worthy if they don't like me, or if they think that I'm doing something weird with my life or stupid. That doesn't make it any less worthy. Me, not it. I am it. It's really good and nice to self-reflect, and I think if you have the time, which if you're watching this in November 2020 or at any time in the next 3 months, I'm guessing, probably have quite a lot of time now. I would say you probably have more time now than you did last year at this time. If you have time to self-reflect, do it, because it's such an important exercise, and it does make you think about who you are and what aspects you like about yourself. This kind of goes into the how to not hate yourself video that I did a few weeks ago, so if you did want to go and check that out, do. But as I said, it's not my business what anyone else thinks about me, it's their business. That's their problem, that they have an issue with me. That's not my problem. If you don't like me, that's fine, but it's not my problem, that's your problem. So why am I trying to change myself to fit your image of what I should be, when actually I should only be fitting my image of what I should be, because I'm the only one who's going to live with myself for the rest of my life, unless I find a boyfriend tomorrow, which I doubt that will happen. So once I realised those kind of, I wouldn't call them rules, but restrictions about what I thought people thought of me and how they had these opinions, and once I realised that I could break those restrictions down, that's when I realised I could literally do anything. I am super powerful. One, the world might be a simulation, so we can mould it how we want anyway, but let's not go too much into that. and you break those rules and you just realise that you're free to do anything you want because you haven't got anyone's opinion squishing you or dampening it for you, which is really important. Once I broke those things down, I started making YouTubes, I started dressing how I've always wanted to dress. Not that I was ever plain Jane, but I didn't really have a style, I didn't think. I mean, I probably don't now, I'm rambling. I started working out for health reasons and because I actually enjoyed it, not because I thought I needed to build muscle, lose weight or whatever. I started posting stuff to Instagram of my tummy, which I would never have done in the past. I was so insecure about it, but now I just don't care. My standard of friend went up. I wouldn't say standard, my quality. I had a lot of friends before. Not that I don't have a lot of friends now. I'm sounding like a loner. I had a lot of friends before that weren't necessarily great quality, and now I have decided to cut those toxic people out of my life. It's not anything to do with them. Well, it kind of is. But like, you do you, but I can't be judged by you anymore. That's why I cut them out of my life. That's a whole different video, we won't get into that. You need to cut these people out of your life, and my standard and quality of friend went up because I have a smaller friendship group now. There's probably a count on two hands. My close friends, they're all really good quality, whereas before I had loads, but they weren't that good quality. They were just making me feel meh about myself, and they were judgmental, and that wasn't good for me because that made me question myself, and you shouldn't question yourself. You should trust yourself. The trust you have in yourself is literally what you use to make decisions and mould your life into what you want it to be. So yeah, friends definitely come into it. I just became more comfortable with me, more comfortable with myself and who I was. That sounds really cliche, but I am genuinely at peace with who I am now. Partially because I've accepted the bad things about myself and I know that I need to work on them, whereas before I was in denial about the bad things and I told myself that's not who I was. But now I've accepted those things. Okay, yeah, those are little bad things, but I now have accepted them and I can mould them into good things. And also I picked out the good things that I like about myself that I want to keep, and that is a part of growing. I think it's really important to remember that we are all constantly growing. I definitely am. So I always used to think people hate me, like they hate me. That's it. And there would be no proof of this. It was just kind of a niggling thing I have in my head. That's not the case. And one of the ways I became more comfortable with myself and thought and got rid of this is I switched it around. I said, I think everyone hates me. If someone else hated everyone, do I hate everyone? I don't hate everyone. Okay, if I'm in a bad mood or I'm on my period, maybe I hate everyone. But that's a me issue. But I don't hate everyone all the time. So does everyone else feel that way? No, probably not. Do you waste your time thinking about others all the time? No, probably not. So do others waste their time thinking about me? Probably not. So I'm going to get on and do the things I want to do because I know that they probably won't even be thinking about me. Another way to stop caring what people think is to stop asking for people's approvals and opinions. I'm not talking in like a medical sense or a financial sense, or if you want to go and get a tattoo but you're underage, please do ask your parents. I'm talking in a approval and opinions about you as a person, but also your decisions, personal decisions. So people's opinions are made up of their fears, their insecurities, their emotional reactions to those, and also their morals and values. All of that comes into play when someone dispenses their advice onto you. And it's really nice to get people's advice sometimes. Sometimes that advice is really negative because they've had a negative experience with it, and it might not be the same for you. It probably won't be the same for you because you're a completely different person. You're in a completely different environment, and it's going to be different. That's how life is. But if you listen to that advice and that nostalgia from that person, it will have an effect on how you view the situation you're just about to go into, or it might even stop you doing the thing that you've asked the advice on. If I ask my mum,
oh, do you think I should go travelling and never get married and never have kids, la la la,
she might be like,
No, because having kids is the best thing ever, and having a house and a nice job and stable.
that's fine, that's her values and her opinion. It's not necessarily what I want to do, but I might then look at her opinion and say, actually, that does sound really happy, you sound really happy, so maybe that will make me happy. I know for a fact that's not going to make me happy. That's the last thing that will make me happy because I'm a different person. So don't necessarily read into people's opinions that much because they are going to be completely different to yours and they are going to change your view on things, which sucks. Because the last thing you want is being really excited about doing something and then them giving a negative turn on it and then you start to question yourself. That's not good. It makes you feel awful while you're doing the thing as well because you're like, oh my god, should I be doing this? Should I be doing this? This person said this. Do it. You wanted to do it originally. Don't ask people's decisions or approval, just do it, because you will regret it if you don't. So I'm not saying my journey is over. I obviously still sometimes listen to what people think about me or care what people think, but I also think that I am still growing, and when I notice these thoughts coming in, when I'm like, oh my god, what if this person thinks this, or what if someone sees my YouTube and is like,
Oh my god, Bryony, she's so weird.
I notice myself thinking about it, and I'm like, actually, why would they ever like think that? Why would anyone literally ever purposely, maliciously go on and do that, unless they're obviously a rude person? But I catch myself thinking about it, and I catch that emotion in the bud, process it, and let it go, and that's it. And that's how it should be. You shouldn't dwell on things for too long, because then it's overthinking, and I'm a massive overthinker. But yeah, I've got a thing which says professional overthinker. So what I want you to take away from this video is, whatever you're thinking, reverse it. Would I care what people think if they were doing that? Probably not. And also, cut people out of your life that are judging you, because it's gonna hold you back. Just do it. Just do it. Rip off the band-aid, do it. If you're scared, fine, but do it. And then you'll start to go. Anyway, if you did like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next week for another vlog.